How software permissions are enforced internally. Software systems must control what actions are allowed. Not every part of a system can do everything. Permissions define and enforce these boundaries. Here is how software permissions are enforced internally. Permissions define allowed actions. Permissions specify what an identity is allowed to do. An action may include reading data, modifying data, deleting data, executing specific operations. If an action is not permitted, it must be blocked. Permissions are checked at execution time. Permissions are not assumptions. When an action is requested, the software checks permissions at that moment. The check happens before the action is performed. If the check fails, execution stops. Permissions are tied to identities. Permissions are associated with identities inside the system. These identities may represent users, processes, services, internal components. When an identity attempts an action, its permissions are evaluated. Checks are enforced at defined boundaries. Permission checks occur at boundaries within the software. These boundaries may exist at function entry points, before data access, before sensitive operations. Placing checks at boundaries ensures consistent enforcement. Permissions are evaluated using rules. Permission decisions are made using rules. Rules define which identities are allowed, which actions are permitted under what conditions access is granted. Rules provide predictable and repeatable behavior. Denied actions are handled explicitly. When permission checks fail, the software responds deliberately. The action may be rejected, return an error, trigger fallback behavior. Clear handling prevents silent or partial execution. Permissions are layered. Permissions are rarely enforced in only one place. Multiple layers may exist. Application logic. Internal services supporting components. Layered enforcement reduces the risk of accidental access. Incorrect enforcement causes bugs. Permission errors lead to serious issues. Common problems include actions allowed when they should not be, actions blocked unexpectedly, inconsistent behavior across components. Reliable permission enforcement is critical for correct operation. Closing software permissions control what actions are allowed internally. They are enforced through identity checks, rules, and execution boundaries. That is how software permissions are enforced internally.